Hi, it's Michael Ian Black. It's time for a brand new episode of my podcast, Have I Got News for Your Ears? On this week's episode, we acknowledge the futility of trying to predict the future. We talk about what may or may not have already happened in Iran. We talk about Easter. We speculate on who was inside that Easter bunny costume. All of that and more. It's Have I Got News for Your Ears, the podcast extension of the Have I Got News for You cinematic universe. I'm your host, Michael Ian Black, joined as always by my dear friend Jodi Lennon, my dear friend Jim Biederman.
Oh, I got a dear friend this time.
Can I just make a point about the podcast we're about to record?
Sure.
It seems utterly pointless to me that we're recording a podcast today.
I agree.
Because if you don't know, we record on Tuesdays. It releases on Wednesday. But today is a very special Tuesday because there's a deadline fast approaching.
Sure, 8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern, at which point, if there's no deal in place, Trump has said he's going to destroy the great civilization of Iran.
Let's go back in time. I want to go back in time about a year and a half.
Kamala's gross incompetence. Her gross incompetence disqualifies her from being president of the United States of America. She's incompetent. Everyone knows it. No one respects her. No one trusts her. No one takes her seriously. And to make her president would be a gamble with the lives of millions and millions of people. She would get us into a third world war.
Yeah, see? And he's right. If it had been Kamala, we'd have millions and millions of people whose lives are at risk, as opposed to the billions of people whose lives are at risk right now.
So it's actually an inflationary issue.
That's right.
If you put that clip right next to a clip of discussing his Easter, what would you call it, greeting? It's an Easter greeting, right? What do you call it when you
threaten genocide in front of the Easter bunny?
On Easter, what do you call that?
Meltdown.
Easter meltdown. Here you go.
On this holy weekend, I'm sorry to have to use profanity on this show, but this is what your 47th president of the United States just posted. Quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. End quote. That's what the president of the United States has just posted.
I mean, he did promise Infrastructure Week.
I like that. Power Station
Power
Day
Plant and Bridge Day.
Yeah.
Power Station.
Yeah, they're both games.
Or was it a band?
Yeah, that's a Duran Duran spinoff band. It was one of the guys from Duran Duran, one of the guys from Chic, the band Chic.
Chic, yeah.
And maybe Robert
I'm
Palmer.
not sure that's how it's pronounced. I love that he has to say, listen, I hate to swear on. And I'm thinking, what? We would never have to say that.
No, that sounds more like a Fox News move. But
if you're on TV and you get the opportunity to say "open the fucking straight," you're so psyched.
Yeah,
you crazy you forgot the crazy bastards part.
To me, the "you crazy bastards" thing almost felt like affectionate, like "you crazy bastards."
Oh, really? I read the whole thing like Die Hard, right? And and whatever his name is, the oddly German Swiss terrorist.
Yeah,
it says. Open the fucking gates, you
you
crazy bad. It felt like, and someone wrote it in a script, and they're like, "It feels a little too much." Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it was dictated from him straight to his Truth Social, because there's a fucking, and they didn't go fucking, and there's apostrophe.
How did you take? What was it? Praise to Allah.
Praise to Allah.
Praise to Allah.
It's a ultimate fuck you, because it is, first of all, your praise be to Allah is, for Muslims, a very, very heated statement, because you're now turning it around to death to Muslims.
I like to think he's reclaiming it.
Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time.
I think, it is. It's so the crazy bastards part. Yeah, I'll go with you. It's. Hey, come on, you knucklehead. and then he goes in for the kill with, praise be to Allah, because fuck you, your shitty fucking religion.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
I thought
by the way,
on Easter.
The day where
on Easter Monday.
Yeah.
It was Easter.
Sunday.
That was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
That tweet was Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, so that happened. Thoughts, feelings?
Well, I wrote a whole thing about it.
I read it yesterday. My question to you is: you do what you do a lot in your Substack.
Yeah.
Is that you don't really? You'll say, "Well, this could happen or it won't happen," and who am I to? I'm not an expert and all that
Right.
stuff.
I'm no prognosticator.
You're not I believe that's
What
the
do
word.
I know?
That's the word you use.
You're a poker player.
I'm a jerk off on CNN. You know?
I believe that's your
But
title.
your
I believe
take-
that is your title.
Your
official
take.
title.
I think he's going to bomb the hell out of him.
Why this time as opposed to, because you also referenced the 24 hours, the 48 hours, the 10 days. You mentioned that.
I think because he has put himself in a position where he now feels like he's unable to get back off the ledge. And I think the tweet that he just released this morning further indicates
which
that.
we have.
Because I wrote that last night,
Yeah.
and then I saw the thing this morning, and I was like, maybe I am a prognosticator. Maybe I'm a prognosticator
I like how you turn
overall.
it back. It's all about me.
Of course it's about me. So I guess I was going through what are the likely scenarios. The best scenario, obviously, is a ceasefire.
Yeah.
Or the best one, which is there's a deal and
Right.
everything goes back,
Right.
which can't happen. That cannot happen.
The
before
going back part.
Well, there cannot be a cessation of hostilities, certainly before this deadline, because Iran's leverage dictates that there be no deal. They have closed a choke point in the global economy. They cannot reopen it without getting something significant that they want. And there doesn't seem to be any indication from the Trump administration that they're willing to give them anything. And in fact, they seem to be ratcheting up the ultimatum. So there cannot be a cessation of hostilities. Can there be a ceasefire? Again, to me, I don't know why Iran would do that. Because for them, this is all existential. It's because when we think about Iran, we can think about the population of Iran and the regime of Iran. The regime of Iran, as we know, has been under constant protest for the last however many years. They've been killing their protesters. So for them, for the regime, they're calculating that all they need to do is essentially keep their heads down, wait it out, and they will survive.
Right.
If civilian infrastructure gets sacrificed as a result of that, that only helps them.
Yeah, it heightens their advantage.
Right, for two reasons. It helps them because it will further turn the world against the U.S. and Israel, and it will help them because it's going to cow the Iranian population, who are now just going to be essentially struggling for survival. Meanwhile, the whole regime is living in bunkers and they're fine. So I don't think there can be a ceasefire. So then we're in that position where Trump is now, as everybody keeps saying, backed himself into a corner. So he can either just say, fuck it, I'm out, which doesn't seem likely.
No.
Because I think the criticism gets to him, too, that he's Taco Trump. And whenever people are on the news being like, oh, he's going to chicken out again, I'm like, shut the fuck up. We want him to chicken out. That's what we want. You know what I mean? Like, why are you goading this guy into bombing a country that didn't do anything to us? Did very little to us.
Here's the...
Is that today's?
This is Tuesday. We
Tuesday
record on
morning.
Tuesday.
This one actually scared me. The way I feel like it's scaring a lot of people.
It's nuts. It's like they don't even believe what they're reading.
And this is Fox News.
Yeah, we're watching a Fox News clip.
I'm sorry, Trey, there's some breaking news on Truth Social.
Yeah.
Ainsley, do you want to read that?
Sure. So Donald Trump just posted this. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran.
So this is clearly an escalation.
You think? You think?
God bless the great people of Iran. I am about to wipe off the face of the map.
And I heard on my way in today, I was listening to the radio and it said, or the whatever, Sirius XM, and it said that a lot of Iranians who have either gotten out or are still there, who are very actually in favor of regime change, are saying, why are you doing this? You're going to lose all of any sentiment we have towards you.
Jim, I just said that. Jim, I just made
did.
that point.
He only listens to people on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Apparently. And Paul Lynn. Do you want me to say it as Paul Lynn, Jim?
The long and complicated history.
The long and complex history of the world.
Yeah, what a
From noted
dipshit.
historian Donald Trump.
Yeah. Look, all I know about the history of the world, long and complicated.
So what the
dipshit.
fuck? That's for 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern time. Conveniently, he made
Prime
it
time.
Eastern time.
It's prime. Look, never underestimate. If he's anything, he's a showman, and an incredible schedule of television.
What are your predictions, Jodi? What do you think is going to happen?
I do think that it's going to be really
Fun? Looked like you were going to say fun.
No, I wasn't going to say fun.
Well, let's as of this recording, they have bombed the Isle of Karg.
Right. I too think that he's been feeling a lot of pressure because he does put these false deadlines in place for himself, which is a recipe for disaster.
Do you think there's any chance he will move the deadline again?
Well, it is weird.
I think he will.
That it's Taco Tuesday, right? Like,
Jodi, shut up. He listens to this
Taco
broadcast.
Tuesday. He does listen to this broadcast.
yeah, he might flip again, right? Like they're in the 11th hour, like 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
There might be like conversations are happening.
Some
right?
incredible conversations
We're
with
having-
the smarter regime. By the way, there's no new regime.
No.
There are new notes being passed forth back and
the
forth.
bat
That's
phone
my
rang.
favorite.
Right.
That's my favorite. The notes.
Yeah, he's getting another note in a bottle or something. And
Right.
so there's going to be a conversation, so maybe they can stop. But I get nervous because Hegseth's such a nut. Hegseth and Kane were supposed to speak this morning, right? Do their press conference, and that was canceled. So there is part of me that's part of the show for today, right?
The weird piece of information that makes me think, which is there's a company called, it's a satellite company called Planet something. And they have been providing, they're a private company, they've been providing the news
Imagery.
agencies with imagery of what's really going on. They have been requested and are complying with the government to just shut that down.
Right.
So no press can get any information from a satellite. That's how they've been checking on these. Well, we blew this up. Yep, they did blow it up. Or no, they didn't blow it up. Or it's partially blown up through these satellite imagery.
But there's other international companies that do this.
There are, but I think the government has basically reached out and said, don't do this.
Let me ask you this, because this is a question that has been weighing on me. Do you think we're being told the truth about U.S. casualties and possible damage or sufferings that the military is undergoing?
Before the planes over the weekend, where last week went down, Iranians had blown up 2 or 3 planes on the tarmac in Bahrain, I think.
We did hear about that.
We did.
Yeah.
And the rescue mission.
Well, that's
the
separate.
F-15
Yeah.
that
Right.
came this
But
last
I mean, we're
week.
getting that kind of information.
Yeah. But
we're getting it because the Iranians are mentioning it, I think.
well, there was video. I mean, the F-15. I mean, you weren't going to be able to hide, I don't think, an F-15 that went down or a Warthog that went down or 3 helicopters that got shot. But I don't know. Part of me is dubious. Like, part of me feels like, I don't know that I believe that we're not suffering for their casualties.
I can imagine we are, but I don't think they're dramatic.
Right.
I think that this is such the techno-head version of like, do it all from the air. Don't put anyone like you can blow everything up from the air. You'll never lose anybody that way. You only come out as like, we lost no one. And what everyone will tell you because of Vietnam, which was an air war primarily, is that you have to put people on the ground. You have to. You can only bomb so much. And once that happens, forget it. You're in the war. Now the question is less about casualties and do we have boots on the ground? And where are they?
Well, we certainly have boots on the ground.
Where are they, though?
They're scattered across the country. I mean, I'm sure there's no doubt there's special forces doing whatever they're doing, and that's fine. I mean, in any conflict, there's going to be those people who are targeting and doing
highly
recon
trained.
and whatever.
Yeah.
But I know, but obviously you're talking about a significant landing force on Karg Island or whatever, and then spreading out into the hinterlands of Iran, and that seems
highly mountainous, very mountainous.
Yeah, you literally have to land in Karg and then just scale the cliffs of Normandy to get any. I mean, I don't think cliffs of Dover. I should have said. I don't think Normandy.
No,
had
I would
cliffs.
go Himalayas.
Oh.
I mean, they're very big mountains.
What are the chances, as I speculated in my piece, that he uses a tactical nuclear weapon in Iran?
So that was the part I wanted to ask you about because I think it certainly crosses everyone's mind. But when he makes a statement like they will be gone forever, that's the natural.
That's where your brain goes.
Right.
Right.
I personally,
And
I don't
think you
he
said
will.
even a little tiny one, right, or something.
Yeah, a little fun guy.
A little fun guy.
A little fun little fun-sized Hiroshima.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is like a mini Milky Way or something.
Yeah.
Isn't it so unfortunate that we're taking seriously something that he put on Truth Social? Like that's still like this is how he communicates what he's going to do.
I'm sorry, Jodi, if you had voted for Kamala Harris and she won, we'd be in World War III. Wait a minute.
What else? What other little clips do you have over here?
We have a lot, so let's just get through them.
Let's see another one.
Let's get through them so we can get to our fallout
This,
shelters.
of course,
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
To our great First Lady, who's here someplace. Let's see. I think this is our First Lady. What do you think of our First Lady? She's a movie star. I don't know. Do we call her First Lady or a movie star? She has the biggest movie. Can you believe this? And she deserves it.
Oh, so this is Easter.
Right.
Where
he's on the papal balcony of the White House.
Yeah.
Surrounded by his wife.
The portico.
The portico. And the Easter Bunny on one side. Who do we think was in the Easter Bunny?
I really wanted to be Sean Spicer. That's the job he never really wanted to let go.
I like that.
Because that was the first time. And then he just said, listen, you can fire me. You can do whatever. You can run my name through the mud, but please let me be the Easter Bunny.
Do they reveal who is the Easter Bunny?
Sometimes they did with Sean Spicer.
Yeah. I like to think it's Stephen Miller in there.
It's Katie Miller.
Okay, so that
what if it's Omarosa? What if they bring back
Omarosa would be great in the Easter Bunny.
Sit tight for a second. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment. While we're on break, hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that join button, hit your fun button.
Trump is talking to children. He's
average age looks about 6.
Yeah.
Right. So he's signing something.
Yeah.
He's autographing something for the children.
Right.
And I'm sure the children are thrilled.
Right.
Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen following Joe Biden. He didn't sign. He was incapable of signing a thing. So they'd follow him around with this big machine. You know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed for him. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys. They'd sign it with an auto pen, give it back. Not too big, right? Better to sign it. Okay, that's the fake news.
I made Air Force.
Who likes the fake news? Does anybody like the fake news?
No.
This really does feel like
my God.
Mussolini or Hitler talking to his grandchild.
Oh, my God.
And also
Gampy, you're scaring the kids again. Gampy.
Part of me is like, did he know
he was being recorded?
I think in his, I have a friend named David Wayne.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. David would do this bit when he was a kid, and up and through, he probably still does it, where he would narrate as he was walking down the street as if he was on the radio.
Oh.
So he'd be like, I'm walking by the deli
I think
right
he still
now.
does it.
Yeah, I'm sure he still does it. And I think that's what Trump does. I think in his mind, there's always cameras on him.
Oh.
There's always a
on the air.
boom mic.
He's always on the air.
He's always performing.
But anyway.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
Yeah, who you with? Who you with?
Yes.
Well, that's a radical left group of lunatics that you're with.
CBS or the
PBS.
Yeah.
Oh, PBS, the radical
But the best part
lunatics.
is she asks a question and he goes on to say, that's a fair question.
Well, what's the question? I couldn't even hear over the great music.
How is bombing the Iranian people good for the Iranian people?
Right.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
But I mean, that's the thing. He's not wrong. But will he do that?
But as you talk about the fun boy, that's the only way you are going to take out an entire country.
Exactly. And so today, when I wake up and I read, I might destroy the entire civilization.
Right.
To me, that can only mean nukes. Now, I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I may regret saying this. Would the military
Let's talk about this because
Right,
Hegseth
because
has
that's
been
a crime.
Hegseth, they don't care. Hegseth
they don't.
has.
It's true.
United States does not acknowledge the international
Right.
courts in that.
Crimes.
and war crimes. They just don't. For convenience. But I think Hegseth has been methodically firing every single major high-level authority figure in the military.
Right. And certainly anybody with an independent streak is gone.
Right. Which is and the latest this week, the last week.
So this the Easter show like all the craziness that happened on Easter. And I know.
You mean about Jesus coming back from the dead?
Well, there's
craziness?
that, and the baskets and the chocolate and the ham.
Oh. Well, that has nothing to do with Jesus.
No, the Trump-specific Easter performance and him going just crazy and all the different beats of what happened that day have had some screaming 25th Amendment again, which is always just so entertaining
never
because
gonna happen.
it's never going to happen.
No.
But it's such a joke that anybody would even think that because he surrounded himself by people who are
even crazier than he is.
They want this to happen.
Of course.
I was wondering where that was going to go. He's surrounding himself by people who
Want this to happen.
crazy as he is. Another thing that happened, big story, is that they did recover the second, I think he was a colonel.
These two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour, and then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail.
Here's the weird thing. It was John Barron.
So this is, to me, this is like a perfect example of where I don't feel like I'm being told the truth. Like,
So a reporter found out details about the the guy the second pilot or whatever, and he's now threatening that is a violation of national security. It's a free. He's just basically coming down on free press reporting, and they're trying.
I don't think Donald Trump would do that.
Maybe not, but in this case, look, everyone has a bad day, right? In his case, there's 365 bad days. But I think it's he's pressuring them to essentially release their
release the source of who. But
again, it's John Barron. That's gonna be really embarrassing.
Now, again, like I don't
Remind
know
people who John Barron is.
John Barron is right.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's alter ego for when he wants to leak something in the press, who sounds amazingly like
Just like him.
No, it's John Barron. Barron.
His technique for disguising his voice is he puts a handkerchief over the mouthpiece of his receiver.
They'll never know.
So this F-15 gets shot down.
Yeah.
And they rescued the pilot first.
Yeah.
But everybody, I didn't know, but anybody who knows anything about F-15s would know that there's two people.
There was the second guy.
So the second guy was unaccounted for.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like there's a great stretch of imagination to say we don't know where the second guy is. How is that a national security issue?
It isn't.
Right. There's a missing guy. Yeah. We don't know where the guy is.
And the Iranians didn't know that? Oh, right.
They don't know what an F-15 is.
Because you know what? John Barron called them.
In Trump's mind, the Iranians only have flying carpets, so they don't know that the F-15 has two people.
A whole new world.
They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry.
If they don't have anti-aircraft, what was it that shot down the F-15?
There you go. That's a great question.
Thanks.
What happened? How did that happen?
They have no radar. They have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
He was talking about Steve Witkoff?
Steve Witkoff, yeah, Steve
So
Witkoff.
is he saying that we are currently communicating with Iran by sending children with notes?
Children runners, they're trained for this.
I didn't mean to imply otherwise. I would never discount the professionalism
we're not saying,
of our child messenger
Michael,
service.
you have a niece or a nephew who's like, I don't know, 8, 9 years old who can run fast? No, come on.
It's like, because I have no other, in-depth, real picture of something like this, so it's always an episode of MASH to me. Mm-hmm. So it's like everybody's sitting at Rosie's bar, and then a child comes in, and they've got a tiny note.
Yeah, they're small children.
Yes, and it's a very tiny note, and it's on the front, it's on the back.
Is it rolled up like
a second child comes in. They've got the rest of the note.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, on the back.
Oh,
and then
I don't go to MASH. I don't go to MASH. I go to they're wearing togas with sandals.
That's what I think of. I think of the messenger from Marathon who ran 26 miles to give the note to the emperor.
So he's now He's on full, like, he's going down memory lane on Venezuela already.
Now, with Venezuela, and we just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language.
Who is saying that?
Not a
The
human.
people of Venezuela.
Probably what happens is he gets that briefing in the morning where
One of them, many.
he sees a sizzle reel of 2 minutes of shit getting blown up or whatever. And then
that's really
somebody
fun.
else will come in front of him and say, hey, did you know you're huge in Venezuela?
FYI.
If you go on American Idol Venezuela, Venezuelan Idol,
Yes.
I think he should run for president of Venezuela.
I do. I think
That would
he
be
should go
great.
there.
If he wins the presidency of Venezuela, what we then do
Right.
is we go in, we snatch him, we
Bring
take
him back
him, we
and-
put him in jail. That's
For
the
crimes-
precedent.
For crimes against us.
Yes.
I agree with you. Here's more questions from the White House press corps.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't want to tell you
that.
that. We have a plan because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive things, and bridges. You saw the bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay, don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over.
8 p.m. to 12 a.m. is about the same amount of time it took him to take down the East Wing.
So the question starts with, are there any civilian things that you're not? He says, I don't want to tell you the plan, but here's the plan. We're going to take out the bridges and the power plants from 8 to 12.
Hazel. It is.
The percentage of our audience who understood a Paul Lind reference now fracture that by about 80%.
Probably.
Did I mention that I'm escaping a lot of this information by just tuning into Pix 11?
You didn't have to. I think we understood. That was implied. Even I don't fully understand the Hazel reference.
Hazel was a maid who was constantly putting her foot in her mouth.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are older than me.
But he's getting high on his own supply now, right?
I really think that message this morning was exactly that. Was him saying, fuck it. We're doing this.
Here's our last clip, which should tell you everything.
President Trump has just released his budget proposal for next year, including a truly massive boost in U.S. military spending.
What we're seeing is that they're seeking roughly $1.5 trillion more for the Pentagon. This would be the highest boost to military spending in modern history. Of course, obviously, given with the war ongoing with Iran, they are backing up the reasoning for this. Now, I will say the budget proposal, by contrast, does seek to slash non-defense spending to 10%. That would be a $73 billion cut that we're told would fall primarily on housing, social services, healthcare, and other domestic programs.
So the things that
people
need
to survive.
I'm telling you, he runs everything he's attached to into the fucking ground. He cannot manage his own money.
Right.
Great insight, Jim.
So for him the other day, he said, we can't afford health care. We can't afford child care. We can't afford Medicaid. That's not what governments are supposed to do. It's like, no, this is exactly what they're supposed to do. Because you and your ilk believe, oh, this is a business.
Right.
So we're going to do this for business, and we're going to spend 1.5, which I believe is double our military budget.
This past budget was roughly $1 trillion, I think. So it's like a 50% increase.
So I guess this podcast.
This is our last podcast before the world gets blown up.
This podcast goes out on Wednesdays. What are our final predictions? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I'll just go with my initial prognostication.
From last night,
which is that he is going to bomb. Mm-hmm. It's going to accomplish exactly nothing. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be in this exact same position in 2 weeks that we're in right now.
We're in week 6, by the way, of a 2-week war.
That's right. Well, we won it in the first hour. At that point, I do wonder whether he starts considering the use of a tactical nuclear weapon.
We know, here's the part that just is that the known unknown. Mm-hmm. We know in the past, he's mentioned it from various former members of his cabinet from the first term, that he's obsessed with nuclear weapons, obsessed with them. Why can't we use them? I believe is a direct quote. Why can't we use them?
And it seems like he's getting juiced up. Yeah. Like voices and people are just like pumping him up.
And so here's my other part of the other pillar, the other leg of that stool, which is you have Hegseth, who is many things, but fucking insane is one of them.
Right.
When he's not completely sauced. And that is, he really believes there is this onward Christian soldier, nationalistic Christianity. I could see him saying God would want us to do this.
Yes, no question.
Also, I bet he's crazy when he's sauced.
What is your prediction?
My prediction is there's going to be a breaking news at 11:30 p.m. tonight.
Oh, I've got to
and
step
he's going to come up.
I can't step that late.
And he's going to be flanked by Kane and Hegseth. And they're going to say that there was a break in they talked to the good regime.
Right, the good regime.
And that they're having communications that are very positive. And that soon gas prices are going to go down. Like he's going to button it with something like that.
Okay, so you think it's just going to be a punt?
I think so. I hope so, too.
No, we're asking for your prediction.
I don't know.
Don't you do that 50-50. That's the coward's way.
I think I agree with Jodi.
Great. I hope I'm wrong.
I agree with Jodi. He's so nuts. And they're all afraid of him for whatever reason. I don't think Hegseth is. Hegseth believes this is, I mean, he equated finding the second airman
with the resurrection of Jesus.
The resurrection of Jesus,
but
which not really sure how that works.
Jodi, I hope you have a great week.
Thank you. You too, Michael.
Jim, I hope you have a great week. Happy Passover. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Of course, we release new episodes of Have I Got News for Your Ears every Wednesday. Don't miss an episode. You can follow us on Apple Music or Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, watch the VODCAST on Spotify or on the Have I Got News for You YouTube channel. While you're there, hit subscribe, hit join. Jim, it would mean so much to Jim. He has so little in his life. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the HIGNFYE YouTube channel and be sure to click the bell to stay on top of all our great content. Even better, become a member for exclusive content, early access to videos, members-only shoutouts, and more. Click the join button below.